Straight cash, homie.
All right, straight talk, no chase. Tripp Simpson in the building, along with Cosby Digital and our special guest, Mr. Devon Lessin.
Oh, we almost got it, but it's all good, fam.
Hey, he been fucking your name up. I thought your name was Devin Lessin. Fucking around with him.
Hey, it's all love, cause even when I'm in meetings,
everybody always fucks it up.
Yeah, that's an icebreaker that I do. Who say my last name the best?
Yo, that shit is too many S's and N's. Like, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this?
The second S is silent.
See?
And that's all you gotta remember.
You ain't no damn Haitian, are you? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, shit.
Nigga.
All right.
Southeast. But with that being said,
shout out to
native
Haiti.
Washingtonian. Again, worked for the DC Commission on Arts and Humanities. Also founder Gilded Sages. Has been appointed to 2 offices, council as well as the mayor's office, and I just wanted to thank you gentlemen out for bringing me out here, having this conversation as it relates to post-debate.
Oh yeah,
Donald Trump versus Joe Biden.
So I'm gonna go ahead and kick this thing off. We're just on the heels of watching the last debate before the election, Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, and in terms of format, it was much better than the first debate. We were able to hear both candidates' point of view. They were drastically different. Donald Trump came out like a smack DVD or rap battle. He had plenty of punchlines. He had plenty of wow moments. Like, we were cracking up back here at the Secret Garden. We were watching it. Shout out to Capital City Cinema, Capital Cinema ENT that showed the debate live. But it was pretty funny, man. We were having a good time. Donnie T delivered his entertaining performance.
He did.
Joe Biden stuck to his guns, his issues. But it was still a pretty interesting debate. What did you think, Tripp Simpson?
I thought Donnie T wiped the floor with Joe Biden once again. Joe Biden's too fucking old, man. I mean, it's just evident. It's evident. Like, he's too I mean, Donnie T's old too, but
they're the same age.
No, well, Joe Biden's like 2 or 3 years older, but you can't even tell because Joe Biden sat there. Joe Biden looked like Weekend at Bernie's. Like, a nigga was just moving his head, just talking some bullshit. Mm-hmm. And to your point, as we discussed prior to the debate, you called it. You said, if they mute Trump's mic and he has time to think about what he has to say, he's going to wipe the floor with this nigga. Because Joe Biden this was the wrong choice for the Democrats. And I'm speaking totally objectively. I have no dog in this fight. I do not want to vote for either one of these people. But just looking at this thing objectively, Donnie T, 10-0.
Yeah, I think what we get into when we look at the debate that we saw tonight, and the reason that I said that, because when we look at the first debate, a lot of, the L that Donald Trump took, or what I believe he took as the first debate, was due to a lot of him just talking and
overzealousness,
and him, being his own demise.
Yeah.
But with the fact that he was able to, sit there, you saw him get into a rhythm and actually listen to the points that Joe Biden
nigga was like making. This. Every time he was like, 10 seconds, please. He was.
Hey, he's super animated in the way that I don't think going up against him as an opponent, you can be in such a serious mindset. And I think Joe Biden got caught off guard a lot.
He did.
Especially when it came down to the African-American community and black men.
He definitely hit with the super predator
and that fracking question.
I learned something, right? And I paid attention. What I realized, Trump has been on TV for so long.
He has.
He knows how to move on television. That's why he was able to wipe the floor with the Republican field in 2016.
Oh, man, he crushed them
because
niggas,
they look so awkward when they get on TV. And
they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, he's been on TV so
Wait
long.
a minute, he's not gonna be fake?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He like whap whap whap, and then he sit back and like hit him with the shoulder shrug.
Well, your wife's a whore.
So, like, he was fucking him. Like, he's been just fucking him up because he's so cool under pressure on TV. He'll tell 20 lies and don't even blink.
Don't even sweat.
Don't even
look. We saved 20 trillion lives we saved 20 trillion lives last week, and we're gonna do it again.
No, his favorite thing is the unknown people. There's plenty of people that I met with that told me, this is a big deal. It's unnamed. I'm not gonna tell you who it was, but he drops it so smoothly and calmly.
And Biden couldn't fuck with it.
No politician can deal with it because he's not a politician. He's a seasoned TV. He's
reality
been on TV.
star.
Yeah, he's been on TV. He's literally been
drama.
on TV since 1985. One of my favorite movies is Home Alone. He's been in the movies since
he was in Home Alone.
He was in the first Home Alone in the Plaza Hotel. He's been on TV that long. He's been in WWE. He's been on The Fresh Prince. He's been on TV for 30 years.
There's one thing I can guarantee you tonight. Simone Sanders is a black eye.
Oh.
You did it again, bitch.
Man, hey, look.
Simone Sanders is down the wharf right now, like,
no, shout out to
Stop,
Sean.
Joe.
Shout out, she talking
Don't
to
hit me
Sean
with your cane
Townsend,
again.
man. Shout out to Sean Townsend. He's the nightlife mayor of DC. They together.
Man, holla at your chick, bro.
Hey.
Come on, man. She got Biden looking bad out here, bro.
That's
bad.
that's the
Bad.
problem when you're a bureaucratic debater, though.
But I don't think Biden looks bad. That's just Biden.
You don't think he looks bad? Come on, man. Be honest. He doesn't look bad?
I think it's about expectations. I expected Biden to do exactly what he did. Try to speak to the American people, not let Trump
Biden looks
fluster him.
bad, bro.
Politics is managing expectations.
Politics is knowing your opponent, though.
It's knowing your opponent, but it's giving people what they expect, and this is why Trump wins. This is why people don't understand that Trump wins.
What
because
did you
Trump
expect?
gives you what you expect. He is that honest, harsh truth. He's consistent. And when you're consistent, I'm giving you what you expect on either side of the spectrum. Joe Biden, though, bureaucratic, and that's when he loses.
He looks bad.
Because he gets the stumbling, and Trump is just like, I'm going to give you and onslaught you, like you said, in a more
The
right.
niggas say, but you getting money from China.
and
then Russia, like he was bombarding this nigga.
This is the thing. Trump is smart enough to know the large majority of the voting percentage do not go back and fact check, right? How many of us really look up PolitiFact the next day to see what he lied about, what he told truth? Trump is great. He was stringing together 7-8 lies, bung, 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 and be like, I got you. And the average person who would never go back and fact check
But that's what Joe Biden,
shit.
like, Joe Biden's like, man, I swear to you, it's just not true. But hold up. But this is where he count on, though. Because for every 7-8 lies he tells, allegedly, the one that stuck was the fracking. He caught the fuck out of Joe Biden.
That wasn't a lie.
Then when he doubled down, when he hit him with the bop, he said, convince him, Joe. Convince him.
Because he knew that. He knew that
one
one wasn't a
it
lie.
was done.
That
It
one
was
wasn't a lie,
done.
unfortunately.
He's
It
made
was
for
done.
television. His hair,
When he told
his
Joe,
tan.
when he looked at Joe and said, you at the floor, convince him. Joe was stuck. Get this nigga out of here.
He's made for TV, and that's the thing.
Get Joe Biden the fuck out of here.
Once we got to a point in America where our news is relatively entertainment, like we don't even have real news in this country. Like it's funny, I watched.
Well, the president called it. He said it was fake news.
Local 5 or 7. Whether it's even fake, it's now. It's like Ron Burgundy and Anchorman. It's news entertainment. It's not
like that,
real
though.
news. Like I watched Fox 5 and I watched 7 because when my clients was on Fox, shout out to April Richardson. She sold like
6,000 cookies.
Yeah, on QVC.
I
She
saw
killed it, right? But I watched the news because she had an interview on 7, and I just happened to leave it on. It's like a mix of YouTube and a mix of Instagram and like it's not even real. Like Walter Cronkite. It's not news anymore. It's just like infotainment is what I would explain.
Pretty much.
So if the country is turned to infotainment,
if you were debating Trump right now, he would have told you, I was right. I told you. It was fake news.
It's info.
He would have killed you.
But it's not even fake. It's just infotainment.
It's fake, bro.
It's so much of a mix
it's
of.
Definitely fake.
No, it's news. It's about
spin.
It's
Everybody got
like,
their spin on it.
Who do you? But it's some shit you really don't care about.
I feel like everybody's mad at Donald Trump because he came into politics telling the truth, but boldly, even telling the truth on himself because he's full of shit. But he told the truth. This is fake.
Yes, and that part I have to unfortunately agree with in terms
The
of.
nigga said, yo, and he said it several times, I'm the least racist person in this room. He didn't say, I'm not racist and they are. He said, when it comes to all the crackers in this room, I am the least racist.
But that's a lie too, though.
I don't think so.
I think that's the truth.
I think that's the truth.
I think it's the truth in the sense that I think Trump is just a manifestation of what America is at its core and his ignorance. And I say
A
that
nigga
because
that's willing to tell you, like, look, I'm racist, but like I ain't as racist as them. I believe him.
I disagree. Because he has a record of racism.
He has a record of saying things, but Joe Biden has a record of doing things.
No, he has a record. He has a record of doing things.
My nigga, George Wallace.
Housing discrimination is a thing.
George Wallace and Strom Thurmond campaigned for Joe Biden's first ever term in government.
I'm familiar.
But that housing,
They campaigned. You have the two most racist politicians ever campaigning for you. Joe Biden ran his first campaign like as the last hope for Dixiecrats. That was his campaign. You understand that?
still going over to the GOP.
That's not that's true. That he
Going
said
back
that.
to
He said
unpacking
that.
what you just said, though, I think when you talk about like housing discrimination and all of those things, I think that's the legacy of America. And so when you come from a family and when you come from a community that's staunchly invested in that, you accidentally become that person in that.
You know, actually, you have to make a choice to do.
No, I'm gonna say the reason accidentally is because I think under Donald Trump, America is equal in a way that Donald Trump is disrespectful and he discriminates against wealthy white people, Asian people, black people, African people, Latino people, and he doesn't necessarily have in his mind a barometer of decency when it comes to anybody.
No, he knows exactly what he's doing. When it comes to the immigrants that he used to build his casinos and he shafted them on contracts, he knows what he was doing. When it comes to putting the op-ed out against the Central Park Five, he knew what he was doing. When he came into his campaign,
he knew what he was doing. Did
Yeah.
Joe Biden know what he was doing
Absolutely.
when he fucking incarcerated millions?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you measure that on the barometer, like
I
Trump
feel like one is more racist than the other.
Trump can easily say, "Yo, I'm least racist." I didn't lock up millions of niggas.
Because this is the thing.
I just got that 5.
As a politician, you
He's
move.
least racist.
I'll say this: as a politician, you move as the winds of the people move. Right? He's different now because the people are different. Back then, the pressure was to lock motherfuckers up. Donald Trump didn't even have the pressure of people. He was a private business person, so he could have done whatever he felt was right, whatever he felt was cool.
The capital moves with policy, though, because there's a lot of people. Even when you talk about when you had the 50 Cent bringing up, I don't want to be 20 Cent under Joe Biden. That's not an issue of I'm racist per se, but I want my capital to multiply.
He paid for a op-ed calling for the death penalty of innocent black people. He had a discriminatory policy in place in housing. So these are things that have nothing to do with policy. You don't have to do those things. He went out of his way to do those things. So I'm not defending Joe Biden's record.
I'm not defending either one of them. But when it comes down to who's more racist,
I would say the person who did the op-ed to
no. When it comes down to the barometer of what you fucking did and the impact of your actions, when it comes down, he made a truthful statement. He said, I am the least racist person in this room.
No, he made a statement of his truth.
When it comes to logic, facts,
he thinks.
truth, weight, scales, measurements, that's the truth.
No, the fuck it's not. That makes no sense. What are you talking about?
You locked up millions of niggas. Yeah. Joe Biden was one of the first niggas in 1979. Mm-hmm. Joe Biden stated, because the law didn't come to fruition until 86, that he wanted 5 years for one crack rock. For every crack rock after that, 5, after that 1, another year after that.
Yeah.
As opposed to the same amount of powder cocaine, probation. Joe Biden,
Yeah, that was definitely.
your man.
It's not my man.
So after Reagan and them put the crack in the communities and set it up for niggas to be on crack, Joe Biden comes and supplements all of that by putting the sentencing in place.
So
And then 8 years after that, setting everyone up for even more failure with the 94 Crime Act. Joe Biden by far is the biggest racist.
my only argument with that is politicians move by the will of the people, and the will of the people.
No, they don't. Politicians
Yes, the
move by the
fuck
will of white
they
supremacy.
do.
Are you fucking serious?
Well, that's people. The country is white. The people in the country
Hence,
are
Joe Biden
racist.
is more racist.
And that's why my argument is the way that it
No,
is.
he's just
I think
he's
they're
a
both
he's a
equal.
representation of the country at that time.
Hence, he's more racist.
I think they're equal.
I like what you
in
did
terms
there.
Just saying.
I like what you did there, but I don't agree.
More niggas in jail equals more racist.
No, I think
I
they're
like what you
equal in
did there,
terms of their racism, but I think what happens is you're getting two men who's trying to paint the other one as more racist because both of them adhere
Have done
to
racist shit in the
not even have done it, but adhere to the legacy of what America is.
They are-
To
they-
your
they
point
both do.
Of like people just move with the wind and move with the masses of what
For the
it
record,
is.
fuck them both.
For the record, fuck them both.
All right, so let's move on from this situation. I'm gonna give my final thoughts on the debate. It's getting late out here. We like you
It's
can't
early,
tell
man.
it's
It's
like
early.
12 midnight.
It's early.
I think we just wrap our final thoughts about the debate. I felt the debate was more of the same when it comes to the political system in the U.S. Especially when it comes down to the presidential race. You have the people who really don't give a fuck about you versus the people who kind of don't give a fuck about you but still kind of need you, so they do things to placate you. And this is the example of that. If we don't have a real political revolution in the United States, i.e. a third party, i.e. a fourth party, just like every other developed nation, we can never truly put pressure on our political system because we play this game of chicken every year, right? But just like Ice Cube, Black Americans, we have not figured out what our leverage is. Ice Cube wasted his time talking to Donald Trump because he has no political leverage. He's not a leader of any mass movements. His online presence isn't big enough to swing any votes. He's just been used as a talking point, as a photo op, as another Negro who has been co-opted to make it seem like Donald Trump cares about the black community when he really doesn't, and his record shows that fact. So people become politically educated, get out and vote. And after this election, start on November 4th, developing a new party. I've voted green and supported the Green Party. If that's not a party for you, so be it. But look for alternatives from the Democratic and Republican Party because they showed you the hand. And for the average working American, that hand is not a winning hand for you.
Okay.
What say you?
So I think this debate was pretty decent in the sense that we had the opportunity to hear both people kind of befuddle their stances and their plans on what it is they plan to do after the election, because I think that's more important than anything given the situation that we're facing as the American people when it comes down to mass eviction crisis, COVID-19 and everything else when we look at the state of the economy. And I will agree with you in the sense that I think people need to take heed to this and become politically educated to be able to not necessarily need a fact checker when we're watching these type of things and be able to make more sound decisions when we're actually engaging our political infrastructure. Just because being in politics, I'll say that both sides don't necessarily have our favor when it comes to the African American community. The only thing I would say differently in terms of a strategy is I would say in terms of building outside, I think that we also should support those individuals who have our like mind inside of the institutions, because there's a lot of assets that can be empowered by that way. But the biggest and largest takeaway from, I think, this debate is both parties do not have a plan as it pertains to African Americans. Both
Facts.
parties are not honest in terms of their role in where the African American community stands. And that is my issue and takeaway from it as a whole, as I don't support either one of these candidates. I'm not here to voter shame. I'm not here to tell people who to vote for. You know me, I'm hashtag show me the exit polls. I want to see who's voting for who as it pertains to how we're going to navigate and who we're going to build coalitions with moving forward. And I think that's the largest takeaway from our community, because that's what I'm focused on. That's who I care about. And that's what I am trying to build moving forward. And that's my largest takeaway from tonight's debate.
Facts, man. First off, I'd like to say shout out to all the candidates who came out to the event tonight. I was really impressed by a few. There was maybe one or two, Theo, who like didn't really impress me. They just got to talking about Michael Jackson and shit, and then they skated off, didn't want to answer no questions. But you know how them type of niggas do.
Which is bad.
But as far as the DC race goes, I'm impressed with a lot of the candidates in DC, because a lot of them support reparations and a lot of them want to see good things for our community. Shout out to Ron Moulton with the halfway house thing, trying to get brothers to come back home, do their thing. You know, we always support that. But when it comes to this presidential election, good motherfucking Lord. God damn. Nancy Pelosi need to be kicked square in the motherfucking ass. Because she the motherfucker that picked Joe Biden. She picked Joe Biden. She sabotaged all the primaries for this old, senile bastard to come out here and embarrass herself. Donald Trump kicked his fucking ass. And you know what? You're going to get what you deserve, Joe Biden. You're a fucking racist. You locked up millions of niggas. You fucking manipulated the drug laws to make crack cocaine 5 times more punishable than powder cocaine. So fuck you, you old, senile bastard. This has been Straight Talk, No Chase. We'll see y'all niggas sometime in the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days.
We out.
We lit over here. Shout out to the Secret Garden. Shout out to Ron Moulton for pulling all the politicians together tonight and trying to improve our community. Shout out to the cameraman, Vegan Steve.
Vegan
See
Steven.
we see you, the Straight Talk, No Chase. We out.
Straight cash, homie.